Hi, welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of The Weekly Wave. I'm Matthew Lyons.
And I'm Aaron Johnson.
And our special guest here today is writer for the Patriot Ledger, Mr. Jim Dorman. How are you?
Great, thanks. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, excellent.
It's a pretty good day. I feel like this week's kind of, even like after vacation, started out a bit slow. Hopefully it's going to start to pick up.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a wave week this week, so that might be a factor.
Yeah, well, a lot of our viewers don't have wave weeks.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Mr. Dorman,
Yes.
you write for the Patriot Ledger.
Correct.
How long have you been doing that?
Well, actually, this month is 20 years.
Wow.
Somewhere around. Could be today. I'm not sure. I have to pull the first article that I did. It was definitely in mid to late January, so we're almost at mid. So maybe a little bit later in the month, but it was 20 years ago, 2000.
Wow. And how did you get started?
Well, I had always enjoyed writing, and I had never been published. I mean, I wasn't that young 20 years ago still. I took a class, an adult education class, on how to get published. Didn't really know how to go about getting published. I thought it was somebody, I didn't know how that worked at all. So this was very step by step. You had to write a letter to, come up with an idea and then write a letter to an editor pitching your story idea. And I thought it was really just going to be the class, and I came up with an idea. I love music, and I noticed there were a lot of folk, like coffee house type music clubs popping up around on the South Shore area. So I pitched that as an idea, did exactly the way they said it, and lo and behold, I got an email from the features editor at the Patriot Ledger, and I was really, really surprised. And then I did a kind of a test article on it, and he liked my writing. And then I kind of got busy and forgot about it a little while. We kind of had some miscue on what I was going to write about for an actual article. And then the same, it was a folk duo that played blues, came around again, and I said, this is a new year, it's a new millennium, and I'm going to do this. So I got in touch with him again, and he said, great, go ahead, do that. Get a picture from their record company, and need the article by such and such a date, and how long he wanted it to be. And I was like, well, okay, I got an article. Yeah, and that was the first one that I did. So, and then they had it. I wanted to do music. That was my idea to do music, but they had kind of a real need for theater. There were a lot of local theater groups that they were trying to cover at that time. They do a little less now. So there's a lot of community theater reviews needed. So I started jumping on that, and he said, "Can you do theater?" I said, "Yeah, I like theater. I'll try that." And it was a lot of fun. So I started doing that, and I could almost do it every weekend if I wanted to. And one time I even did 3 in one weekend. So
oh, wow.
It's pretty gung-ho at that time. So that was like go to a show on a Thursday or Friday night, go to one on Saturday night, write one the next day, write one the next day. And,
wow.
So one day I had like a whole page, I think, of my reviews. So that was pretty cool. So
you've been doing this for like 20 years, you said.
Yeah.
How many articles do you think you've written over the years?
It's not as many as you might think. It's over 300.
Oh, wow. That was more than I thought.
There were some years where I can't do it all the time. It's very it's very time consuming. But there's some years where I was doing not a real lot, maybe 30 or 40. Maybe I don't know if I ever got to 50 in a year. That would be almost one a week. But nowadays I do it kind of when I can or when they need it. A lot of times I'll do a little more in the summertime. When school's out and have more time, but I try to fit in one. Sometimes I can do it, but it does take up the whole your whole time. I already work a lot, work like 2 jobs here, so so it's kind of tough to get an interview done and then do whatever research, do an interview, write the article. But I still managed to do. I did one in December. I'm not working on one right now, but I would expect probably do something pretty soon. Usually I'll hear from them or I'll come up with an idea. In fact, I just pitched an idea this morning, so we'll see if that gets picked up on now or at some time in the future. It's not something that has to be done right now, but usually there is like a time element. It's usually like a show that's going to be opening and they want to get a preview out like a few weeks in advance. In fact, that's what they say, they call it preview an advance article, and that's really what drives a lot of things, like the theater or whoever wants an article, and they'll contact the the paper, the editors, and say, hey, we'd love it if you cover our, event. We're trying to sell more tickets for this event. Would you, we have these people available for you to interview, and then I'll get an email or something like that. Would you like to interview this person or that person about this show or that show or that kind of thing? But so a lot, not all the articles start that way, but quite a few. But if you're feeling gung ho, you pitch articles. So you say, you look at something you'd like to do, or like a long time ago, my favorite rock and roll band's the Allman Brothers. So Dickie Betts is the lead guitarist, or was the lead guitarist in the Allman Brothers. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I've been listening to him all my life. And I saw he had some problems with the Allman Brothers, got kicked out, and I saw he was coming to Cambridge, and I got on. I probably emailed the editor. They like email rather than phone calls, but. And they said, yeah, go for that. That'd be great. Talk about how any problems, with the Allman Brothers, and was that going to get resolved, or what were and also just the new band. He had put together a new band, and they were going to play a smaller venue. And he didn't respond at all, and I was like, oh, geez, and that's because I was like this was different. Like usually somebody wants an article, but this is kind of like, I don't know. But then I just about giving up. My editor said, just give it one more. Give it another try, And I said, all right, put another email in, and then boom, phone call, and I was like, you call him. Here's his number. Call him tomorrow. Oh, wow. In the morning, and next thing I know, I was talking to this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame guy that I've been listening to all my life, and he's discussing how the band started, which to me was just kind of epic.
Yeah, awesome, yeah. That's crazy.
While I was listening to it, and I still have the tape of that, and I have friends that. They do want to listen to it once in a while or this kind of thing. And he was kind of like, sometimes you connect with people, which I think is just, one of the best parts to me. Is just like you're talking to them and you feel like it's going well. Like people even listen to the tape of me talking to them. That, geez, he really opened up, to you. And that was kind of something that made me feel good. But he was like, oh, come on, knock on the door of the bus. I'll remember you. I was like, all right. So I did get to meet him later on. So that was kind of a cool thing. That was a long time ago. But that was one of the first really cool things. Kind of like I can't believe this is happening. We're getting to do this. So.
If you could meet someone and interview him, who would it be? Like Billy Corgan? I feel like it'd be Billy Corgan for you.
A musician or like any celebrity?
I feel like you'd be more of a musician because you do music reviews, right?
I do. Yeah.
Any musician? I think Dave Grohl would be pretty cool. So Dave Grohl, if you're watching, come on the show. We'd love to have you.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, Steve Carell would be awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Steve Carell is not a rock star, man.
Yeah. Oh, rock star specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just like a musician.
Musician. Yeah, Dave Grohl. Billy Corgan would be cool. Jared Leto. He's a great musician. Yeah. What about you?
I thought Jared Leto just did like movies or my.
No, he's lead singer. 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh yeah.
It's a good band.
So before every type of interview like that, I'm always kind of afraid that I'm gonna. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but on SNL with Chris Farley, they used to do like these interviews like with Paul McCartney or stuff, and he would just kind of not really have a question and he'd say like, "Remember when you were in the Beatles?"
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was great. And kind of that's always just kind of the joke. Are you gonna come up with good questions?
Yeah.
You guys probably think of that when you're doing the show, or you just want to come up with something that's gonna generate. The thing is, when I do my interviews, I can. Just go on to the next question. You guys are getting filmed, so
Yeah.
I don't have to be as slick as you guys.
Yeah, that's improvising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back onto the topic
sorry.
of
No, that's good.
of writing.
Yeah.
Does your job go like hand in hand because you are an educator?
Yeah.
So do you see like you using the skills that you learn from here into your writing, or vice versa?
Well, definitely there are some things that go hand in hand. Stuff we would like to instill in students, whether they're into journalism or just anything, is that you have to do your homework and preparation, and when you do that, things just come out better. When you kind of, it's always everybody. Time is difficult, but when if you really kind of devote some energy into doing the preparation, that's why we're always trying to have people take notes and things like that, because you kind of that's how you really learn something and become more expert at, and that's why I want to feel when I'm interviewing someone, it's like they feel like, hey, this guy's done his homework and he knows who I am and he understands, and that's kind of where you get this comfort level with people. And then your article or whatever you're going to present, but for me an article is going to be that much better. I mean, when I was in school, I started this before I was in education, but I was in insurance, and but there were things like that there too. But still, some of the things that I've learned or used I learned way back in high school. I know that some of my English teachers taught me how to do a paper, and I've used that in college. I used it my articles. It was all about really breaking things down and into pieces, and that was the big thing that I learned how to do it like a regular research paper. I broke the articles down. When I first started writing articles, I would take other people's articles that were similar that I knew that I was going to be writing, and I would pull them apart. Say, okay, what was this paragraph about? Because read it, just paraphrase. What was that whole paragraph about? Did it have a certain thing? So and then it went to this, and I'd have almost like a math equation. It was this plus that, and it was all flowed. And those are my best articles. That's what they usually do. Maybe there's something at the end that refers back to the beginning, or it had a really strong hook or an introduction.
So you basically just break down all your articles and kind of diagram it in a sense.
Well, I broke down other people's articles, and then I kind of modeled mine. So I modeled mine after theirs, So, and it's kind of the same idea as, you can't. Well, maybe a little bit different, but when you're first doing something, you need a recipe like cooking something or something like that, Then you can start breaking the rules, and so I certainly break the rules or everything or whatever. I wasn't sure what the rules were. They just said go ahead and do it. I had to figure out, but how to do it. But one of the other things I did was I wanted to know what their expectations were without having the benefit of, come on in for a class and we'll go over all the expectations. Yeah. No, it was going to be, and you're going to find things in life like that. They're just going to say, go ahead and do it, and if it's good, they'll like it, right? So I had to kind of design my own class. Most of these articles have some sort of a quick little lead thing, that grabs people's attention, or some people go into a little historical stuff on either the artist or did a lot of musicals and plays and stuff. So did they win any Tony Awards for this? That kind of thing. So anyway, and they weren't always the same. But they have some sort of format. I'd probably make new formats up all the time. But I don't know. I wasn't sure what the guidelines were. Maybe I was a little nervous about it. It was going to be a lot of people reading this. Maybe I wanted to see it. So that's what it was. It's like a graphic organizer. I guess.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I just have one more question for you. So out of the 300 articles you've written,
right.
Do you have one that you'll always remember? One that kind of stands out?
I don't have any particular one, so that's kind of a difficult question. But I think about, I could say some of the reviews are just the most fun to write because you could just get really creative about it. I would just, if I saw a musical I loved, and the songs were great and different actors were great. I know I was just going to plug in all these things and I go back and read. Those are the best descriptions I had. Yeah. But if I did more of I did some stuff that we haven't really talked about, which was features on places and things to do and stuff. I did a travel article on Block Island down off of Rhode Island, which it was my kind of concept of the whole thing. So sometimes I'll kind of go with one that was kind of similar to that, which was a feature on Plymouth Harbor and all the different places you can go around Plymouth, which is totally different than the entertainment type side of things. But it was my idea to do it. The paper said go ahead and do that. I went down and talked to different people about different restaurants and establishments that people could go to and enjoy down there. And I try to capture through my descriptions what it was like to go to each place. And then the paper sent a photographer down there. I got to go into kitchens. I got fed by these different people.
Oh, that's the best.
So and it took it took a little while to go, and I had set up all the interviews for all different people and go around and then when you put it all together, I just try to be as descriptive and catch the vibe of each place, in a kind of real lively manner. The paper liked it so much that they kind of featured it that whole week was Thursday is going to be, Jim Dorman's, Plymouth Harbor or whatever. Well, probably the Plymouth, and they had awesome pictures of people that I hadn't even met because the photographer went down there at a different time. But they get paid more too, the photographers. I don't like that. That was my whole idea. But so that's one of those. I think maybe the Plymouth Harbor one was pretty cool, and then I just recently, well, not last summer, but the summer before, did the guys who make the Patriots videos, the stuff Patriots fans say, or something. It's and they do these videos. It's George Kippenhan, Nick Stevens and Jerry. Well, sometimes it was Jerry Thornton, but they go around and do kind of local scenes, and they write a bunch of jokes, and people enjoy it. And, depending on what's going on with the Patriots, I don't know what they'll do now. They'll do one, after they've lost now, and it ended up on the front page of the paper, not the front page of the the entertainment section, which is good. I like that. But the front page, I had no idea that it would go on and end up being on the front page of the paper. So that was kind of a cool one. Okay, long answer. Sorry about that.
Oh,
No,
no.
no, no, that's awesome. No, it was really interesting hearing about your Plymouth one because I don't know, because we've both been down like the Plymouth plantation and the harbor and stuff like that. And I'm gonna read it up after to see all like the nice little places the next time I take a little vacation.
It's a little while ago. You could probably, I'm sure you could find it, but it's some of the places may not be there anymore. But you could, definitely. I know it's kind of a funny thing with restaurant, and bars and stuff like that. They kind of come and go. East Bay Grill is there, and there are a few others that are probably still there. But that was something that they were trying to cover a lot. That I kind of enjoyed doing. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm talking to you guys. I was like, maybe should try to revive that, throw that in.
I mean, you can't beat free food.
Oh,
I mean, that's got to be.
One time I did one in Central Square in Cambridge, and there's a great movie theater if you want to go like independent movies, and Central, I think maybe Central Square Cinema. But there's all these restaurants and bars that are all around there, and they kind of wanted it was the same kind of thing, And some of the places were I called ahead and I went in there. It was like, they were just bringing great little things to try or something, or just taste this, or so you get treated pretty well. I mean, I just gotta sometimes it's people want the press, so sometimes you get treated really nice, whether it's getting to talk to somebody or getting a nice seat at the concert or the movie theater. Well, I haven't done any movie theaters. That's another thing, but at the regular theater, sometimes you just get you get that A+ treatment. Yeah. We have time for one more quick story?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Because that was going along with that. One time I did a story. I was Big Apple Circus, and they had like press night. So they invited me. After I interviewed the ringmaster, and they were really like, I got a lot of great feedback on that, which was great. They really loved the article. But then when they have press night, they invite a lot of different press people. So I found myself in the middle of like all the people you see on TV, like the J.C. Monahan and Bianca Della Garza. It was a couple of years ago, so she's not in the news anymore. But all these people I was normally watching, and I'm like sitting all in the middle of them. I was like, oh, this is fun. So. All right, I'll just keep going. You better stop me.
Well,
thank you
so
for
much
coming
on
on.
the show.
Hey, this is a great interview.
Episode.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it because you guys do awesome, and I really enjoy what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Sweet.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next week to see a brand new episode of The Weekly Wave.
Make sure to follow us on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Green Wave Gazette.
Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.